Hello everybody, this is Oliver from Neo, and tonight I am going to show you two teas which I like before I go to bed. And these two teas are, on the one hand, stem tea. So in this case I took Tamari Okucha Midori from Mr. Fujisako, and I took the Bancha from the farmer Mr. Musa Masuda from Shizuoka, and I will tell you a little bit about these two teas. So first we will take the Tamari Okucha Midori, which is a stem tea. Stem tea means that you have a mix of leaves and stems. In the early times, when the farmers made the tea for the upper class or for the rich people, they often had to take out the stems, and often they kept the stems. And the high grade teas or stem teas, which are also called karigane from a small story of a little bird who had to cross the sea, and then, or no, it's not a little bird, it's a goose who had to cross the sea, and the stick, or she had a stick of wood in her mouth, and then she posted on the water when she was tired and was sleeping on it. And karigane is a goose, and that's where the tea has its name from. Otherwise, kukicha karigane, often coming from high grade teas. They are also called, or there's also a form called shiraore, and this one is a Tamari Okucha shiraore. So a tea which is a stem tea mixed with leaves, but coming from a high grade tea. What also is special about stem tea is actually that the stem tea itself has a lot of mineralization due to the fact that the stems, they bring all the minerals to the leaves. That's why the stem tea itself has a lot of minerals, is an alkalizing tea, and also brings a lot of taste with it. It's a little bit of a more tasty and stronger tasting tea. Has a slight or even a stronger hay note, and has a lot of dryness, has a little bit this astringency note without being bitter, but a little bit this dryness, which is known for kukicha due to the fact that it has a lot of minerals in the tea. On the other hand, what we have is the bancha. So I'll show it to you again. Bancha, what you can see, these are thicker leaves. It's a mix between stems and leaves. A very simple tea, often drank throughout the whole day, but mainly after meals in Japan. This tea is deriving from the older leaves, so it's not the top leaves when the plant is growing. The top leaves are used for high-grade senchas, for even gyokuros when it is a long-shaded tea, or it can also be shincha, so very high-grade umami-rich flavors. And then the lower leaves, so often the leaves from the second harvest, are then used for bancha. And bancha is coming then from a little bit thicker leaves, which is making the tea also pretty high in minerals. There's also quite a high amount of iron in the leaves, and as well, and what it is important is it is low caffeinated. This is something the kukicha has as well. Meanwhile, the kukicha has still a good mix with leaves. Here we have a pure leaf tea with some stems, so I can really show you the difference. Here you can really see the yellow parts, or the brighter parts are the stems. Here we get also a little bit of stems in, but much less. So here we're talking really about a leaf tea, and here I have a mix between stems and leaves. Bancha is also a quite interesting tea, as it is the only tea apparently which can be drank by pregnant women. So it's also a very fine tea, soft to the body, also very detoxifying, and also an alkalizing tea. I personally like to drink it after I did sports. This is a tea I very, very much prefer after sports due to its smooth character and this is now I want to go and develop a little bit further and discover a little bit further by tasting these two teas. So I prepared of both 5 grams. I just pour them in the kyusu. Voila, and I'll add some water. Tonight I brought 65 degrees Celsius, so this is around 145 Fahrenheit, 150 maybe. So, and then I just add around 120 to 150 milliliters of water. These kyusus, you can absolutely pour more in it, so there are 250 milliliters of water. I just like to fill them like half of it, so I can enjoy more steepings with a little bit of less water. Gives a little bit more of intensity to the tea, and also gives quite a savory taste, especially here with the kokicha or the Tamari-Okucha Shiraore. We have here a tea which has a fairly high amount of shaded teas, giving the tea also a sweeter note. But let's just wait a short time until they are finished. Just give them a half minute more, and then I think both of them are quite ready. Good. Okie doke. So then let's go right into it. You can do a very, very short steeping, so 1 minute is more than enough. And you can see the tea gives a beautiful color. I'll do the same with the bancha. Just a glass here. And you can already see in terms of color the tea are slightly different. Really try to bring out all the water to avoid after brewing. Voila. Good. So what you can see, there's not an enormous difference between the two, but you still can see that this one here is a slightly more yellowish and this one slightly more greenish, but not astonishing, as here we have the little bit yellowish stems in the tea mixed with the tea leaves, and here we nearly only have tea leaves. Now let's go for the tasting. Let's see this one here, the kokicha. What I directly get is a very hayish flavor, so a really late summer grass hay flavor, dry grass flavor. Then I have a sweetness also coming from the shaded leaves which are in this tea. And what I have now is a little bit more this tanninic kind of being of the tea, this little bit dry mouth feeling, which you have automatically with stem teas. If you don't like this feeling at all, this is not really a tea for you. But if you don't bother, it has a really nice also aftertone of lingering sweetness, but a little bit with this mix of this dryness, which you have to like. What is something also you might know from wines, that you have, maybe you like more dry wines, or you like more sweet and soft wines. So this is more like a dry wine. Then let's go to the bancha. What's impressive about the bancha is it seems to be, or it is, a smoother tea for me. It has directly this wooden, a little bit darker notes. This is a little bit earthy notes as well, coming from the thickness of the lower leaves, which don't have this light sweetness, but strength in it. So it's rather like a toned down wooden flavor, which is given by the leaves of this tea. Personally, I like it a lot because it is round and smooth. Here you really have to accept that the tea has a very strong flavor. It has this dryness, so it's a really kind of straight and a little bit of a rougher taste, while here This roughness is rather smooth and round, but with a woodenness and with a wooden flavor, a little bit of tree bark flavor to it. So this is very interesting about the bancha. But let's go again and let's have a second one. So it's like really this late, a little bit dry summer grass, hay flavor, sweetness. I get a little bit of nearly of green grape, and then you have a little bit this tanninics, so this dry mouthfeel kicking in, but still sweetness going on. So a lot of green grapes I have now, a lot. Maybe it's because I talked about wine, but I have it a little bit like this greenish grape when you buy in another fully sweet grape. Then this is a little bit what I get now. And with this one here, it's really tree bark. There's little bit of a sweet Cornish flavor, but still the tree bark, these wooden notes, they're really prominent. And nearly a little bit like when you buy here, at least in Switzerland, you can buy a little bit this sweet wood when you take it the first time on your tongue. It's a little bit, this tastes slightly, but very dominant and not very sugarish. So more a little bit of this tree or this wooden note. While this one here, very straightforward in the hayish, kind of grassy, sweet flavor, and here we really got more smooth tree bark, wooden flavor. So this is the main difference. Both tea are very well for the night. Both tea go very well as a companion before you go to sleep. If you're not too sensitive to caffeine, they both carry caffeine, but compared maybe to a Gyokuro or really a strong sencha, this has around 30% of the caffeine, and this one around 25. So they're much smoother, much lower in caffeine. So definitely a good choice also when you go when you come home in the evening, just to get past the day, have a relaxing time, have a relaxing moment with tea. These two teas definitely a good choice. So here Tamari Okucha Midori, and here we got the Bancha Masudain. Thanks a lot for watching. It was a pleasure, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.